Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
What do we have here?
I have the original jail cell keys to Al Capone's cell.
At Alcatraz?
No, Cook County Jail.
All right. You should have brought him in like a birthday cake or something like that.
There was quite a few stories about Al Capone being housed there, being the mob boss of Chicago. I'd like to get anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. Not much less than that. You know.
I got to admit, these looks like some really difficult locks to pick.
Yeah, you can't do it. Can't do it.
Which key went to his cell?
This is the main jailhouse key. There were two outer doors that this would open up, and then you went into the cell with the big door.
And where did you get them?
I had worked with an officer who was retiring. Al Capone was housed in the Cook County Jail, and he was Al Capone's personal jail guard. And he was there only for a few weeks because then he went to trial and then moved on to Atlanta Federal State Penitentiary.
Okay.
Back in the late 20s and the 30s, Al Capone ran Chicago.
Yeah, the only thing they could get him on was income tax evasion. And he killed a lot of people. But the fact was, he was Al Capone. No witness would come forward to convict him or anything like that. You wouldn't make it home that night. Al Capone was straight up nuts. But for some reason, people like him. And artifacts connected to him can be worth a lot of money. And how much did you want for him?
You know, I have like $1,500 in my mind.
They're really interesting. So you don't have any actual paperwork proving they're his keys?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I truly believe this person. He showed me where the cell was, but I have no.
Okay. If there's a way to prove that they were to his cell, we have no problem. If we can't, we're like 15 bucks a piece, so.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
When we sell stuff, we have to certify what it is. I agree with you, these are probably from his cell, but we can't prove it. So we just can't take them, I'm sorry.
Thanks for coming in, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I was a little disappointed, but I do understand, you know, they have to be authenticated with paperwork. So I'm a little down on it.
What do we got? These are some vintage hand restraints. I have several pieces. I want you guys to look at.
Wow. Are you just into some really kinky stuff, or?
Yeah, man, I'm kinky, all right. I like to sell my handcuff collection today to do some much-needed remodeling for my house. I bought my collection over the years because they were unique, and now they're highly collectible. I would like to get $12,500 for this collection. My bottom line will be $7,500. I was a correctional officer in my career. I've just been picking them up for the last 20, 25 years. These are single-hand restraints, or commonly called a come-along. If you were handcuffed behind the back and a prisoner was bucking, then you would use one of these devices to help him get to where you need him to go.
Yeah, this was back when a handcuff was more of a torture device than a hand restraint.
Exactly.
You know, technically, they're supposed to be used so you can't move your hands.
Right.
These, they'd put this on one hand, and if you move, they just snap your wrist.
Exactly.
Much, right? So you just take this one
And just slap it on.
Twist this thing.
No, don't you dare do that.
Come here. Get over here right now. Get over here.
Just that little bit hurt, man. How old are some of these?
This one patented 1894. The Pratt combinations, the first model came out 1916.
They almost all kind of look like corkscrews a little
Almost.
bit.
Yeah, that one hurt. And then if you weren't satisfied with the, you twist it.
Yeah, I could see how that could be really effective there.
Oh, yeah. This was one of my favorites.
These old handcuffs are pretty cool and more than a little creepy. Before modern handcuffs came out, there was all kinds of torture devices, and I certainly wouldn't want to be restrained in any of them. How many do you have altogether?
I would say there's about 80 pieces in here.
Okay. How much are you looking to get out of them?
I'm looking to get $12,500.
Okay. You got a lot of pieces here, man. Do you mind if I have a buddy of mine come down and just kind of take a look of them?
Who you calling in?
He's a magician,
Magician?
and he has a humongous collection of handcuffs.
Oh, okay. Why not? A second opinion is always welcome. They need to be informed on what these are and how rare they are.
So here's why we called you up here, Murray. We want to watch you get out of one of these.
Really? The reason they called me is because I'm a massive collector, and these handcuffs are extremely collectible because they don't make them anymore. Oh, you got a whole bag full.
Correct.
This collection looks really cool. This is a policeman's hook.
Correct.
1884. That's a really rare item. And then you have a Malcolm here. These are basically the old version of a taser. If you had these around someone's wrist, you could take them down to their knees instantly. And actually twists and actually puts pressure on the person's wrist.
Correct.
You know what I really want to do is I want to have a look through the bag that you have all the stuff in.
Oh,
Is that okay?
absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
You really have a lot of stuff here, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. We got all these chain nippers. Whoa. All right.
So what kind of weird dungeon do you have in your house?
No dungeon, just a game room, entertainment.
I hate to get entertained by you.
It's definitely entertaining.
So give me an idea. What do you think all of it could be worth?
These are very collectible. I mean, this is the Pratt Model 1. This one, Houdini did actually have in his collection. There's only 700 of these made in the world. That's it.
Wow.
I mean, these alone are between $700 and $1,000 each. I would say this collection would be worth very close to $10,000.
I see at least 12, 5, 13 in it.
That's piecing it out one by one, though. If you want to sell this whole collection, it takes a certain buyer.
All right, Murray, man. I appreciate
All
it,
right,
buddy.
thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck. Pleasure meeting you, man. This is an
Pleasure meeting
awesome
you.
collection,
Sure
all right?
thing.
I'm glad Murray was able to tell us how rare these restraints actually are. They're definitely worth more than their weight in scrap metal, but selling them piece by piece can take a long time. You're asking 12, Murray says 10. You know, who knows what I'm gonna get out of them selling each one of these one by one. What's the least amount of money you're gonna take for them?
9. There's some rare pieces in here.
You know, it took you 20 years to get this collection. You know, I'd hate to see it take me 20 years to sell
Sell
this.
it. Oh, it won't take you 20 years.
Would you go 7,500?
81 with the keys.
All right, man, you got me, 81.
81.
All right, deal. Sean,
you.
you wanna write them up?
All right.
$8,100 is going to get me a new kitchen. And if I got the money, I'll start all over.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
What is that?
It's actually an old school antique police baton. But the plus side is, in case that's not working for you, it can hold a whole canister of tear gas.
Well, that's different.
Is it legal?
I believe so.
I'm afraid to touch it.
Really?
I don't even want my fingerprints on it.
This baton is special because it has so much history. They used it in all the police departments. They used them in the prisons. I feel an antique collector would love this piece. I'm selling the baton today for $1,000. The least I will take is $600.
This is interesting. Where'd you get it?
Baton Army surplus store.
You've never fired it, have you?
No.
Okay. Some of these shoot shotgun shells, some of them do tear gas. Are you for sure this is just for tear gas?
Did a little bit of research on it, but yeah, I mean, it's what they used in the prisons and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
You know, I'm a little hesitant because the ones that shoot shotgun shells are completely illegal and you never, ever want to get caught with them. It's like 20 years in prison. If it's a tear gas one, people actually collect them. But I'm still not sure those are legal in this state.
Okay.
The Baton or Billy Club has been used by police since there was police. They've made all kinds of different versions of it, some that shoot tear gas, some that have stun guns at the end of them. But the original Baton is tried and true and always will work. So if it is legal, what are you looking to sell it for?
Kind of thinking about $1,000.
Let me have a friend of mine come down and take a look at it, because I don't even know if this is legal.
Do I look like I'd bring you something illegal?
No, but you might have bought something that you didn't know was really, really illegal. So let me make a phone call real quick and see if I can get a buddy down here.
Okay. Kind of nervous what the expert's gonna say. I don't understand exactly why there's so much hesitancy. I'm nervous.
Touch at your own risk.
He's scared.
You're worried about this thing?
It doesn't seem legit. I know they made 2 different types.
They did. I think the concern is some were easily converted to shoot shotgun shells. So this was actually made by a company called Federal Laboratories. They were in Pennsylvania, and it's a tear gas billy club. So it's 2 weapons at once. So in order to load it, you break it in half. You'd insert the tear gun canister on this side, and it would be held in back here. You'd screw it back on, and now it's loaded and ready to go with tear gas. Now it has a safety. So you could use it as a baton or a billy club, and this was very popular. They made this for law enforcement, used in prisons, asylums, even military police.
Absolutely.
This tear gas billy club is historically significant because it's one of the first examples of a non-lethal weapon. Tear gas is much friendlier to people than bullets. So if you can use that to subdue them and the baton as a last resort, then that's better than shooting someone.
I'm really afraid to even touch this thing. Is it legal?
I'm not an attorney. I have not had one myself or tried to sell one.
So just for argument's sake, it could be used as a shotgun, right?
Could you get a shotgun shell in that and actually fire it? Maybe. And if you can get off 1 round, ATF says it's a sawed-off shotgun, essentially, which is so illegal.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't take the risk.
Okay.
Sorry.
I appreciate you coming down, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm really sorry.
Wait, fingerprints
you.
off this?
Yeah, get mine off too, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's too gray of an area to deal with. I'm gonna have to pass.
All right, I could debate it till I'm blue, but I understand your point of view, so
Yeah, just don't get pulled over on the way home.
thank you. I don't really want to be carrying around something that's illegal. So I'm gonna take it to the police department, have them evaluate it. If I find out that it is legal, then I'm gonna bring it back and I'm gonna try to sell it again.
What do we have here?
Well, we got a Wells Fargo Strongbox and some antique ball and chain.
Okay, you do have a ball of chain and a few old handcuffs.
I've had a ball and chain for 50-some years, son.
Don't talk about my mother that way.
I come to the pawn shop today to sell my Strongbox, ball and chain, and handcuffs. I do a lot of treasure hunting. I'm looking to get around $2,000 for everything. The least I would take is probably around $18,000.
All right, well, tell me about these things.
This ball and chain right here actually comes from the Human Prison. It's the oldest prison in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, opened in the 1870s. Originally, it was a territorial prison. Arizona wasn't even a state when it opened up.
Right. This one right here, it comes from Folsom Prison from around the late 1800s, 1900s.
I know California did their hangings there.
Right.
But a pretty notorious prison. Same with Yuma.
They had all the bad guys. They were not a nice place to be, but if you went to jail, that's where you went. They didn't have that many back then. Back in the day, a ball and chain kept prisoners from making a break for it. Dragging a big hunk of iron around would do that.
Here's my concerns. When they forged chains back in the 1800s, it was just hot welding together. You know, get it hot, beat it together. 1800s, they didn't have arc welding. It was all done by a blacksmith. That's why I have a problem with these chains. They're electrically welded. See how these have arcs from an arc welder?
Sure, okay.
Okay? And my other big concern, never in the history of any prison did they ever have their name put on the balls.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
It's fake.
What makes you an expert on this stuff?
I've been buying and selling this stuff my entire life. The manufacturers who made these things weren't going to change the die for every prison. It's only fakes that have that, period.
Yeah.
But the box might be real. The handles, I mean, that's classic American cast iron, probably from Chicago. You know, my big problem is we have a box full of fake stuff, gives me real doubt about the box.
This stuff was not inside the box. I actually just bought it all and I put it in the box.
All right, so that makes a lot more sense. This makes me feel a lot better about the box. Wells Fargo started off back in the 1850s as an express company that shipped valuables. You always see a Wells Fargo Strongbox in an old Hollywood Western. So this will definitely get a lot of interest from collectors. Box, I'll give you $400 for it.
I want $1,200 for it.
No, you don't.
I'll give you $400 for the box, and I will get one of my guys to help you carry all this stuff out.
800.
I just don't see me getting that kind of money out of it. I see me getting $600 maybe.
I'd like to at least get $500 for it.
I'll meet you in the middle at $450.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Pretty little filthy.
Hey, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
It sucks that his ball and chain and his handcuffs were fake, but at least he's got the Strongbox. And as soon as I can get it authenticated, it should be a quick score for me, too.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Richard. Rick called me down today to look at a Wells Fargo Strongbox he just bought. These things are rare. They're wonderful pieces. I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to see this. Okay. 19th century Strongbox, Wells Fargo. They were necessary because, you know, you were handling currency, you were handling gold, you're handling silver. You couldn't ship that unless it shipped in a Strongbox. Let's take a look here. So, first things first. Have you already bought this?
That sounds bad. I've already bought it.
I don't have good news for you. This is a complete fantasy piece. It's a complete fake.
Damn it, Rick.
It's one of the most faked items out there. Wells Fargo was always Wells Fargo and Company Express, never Wells Fargo Express. Even the lock is a modern one. This is a type that they never had.
You know, I was looking at it. It's put together so well. I mean, we have cast iron handles. The hardware looks good. It's riveted in there.
Yeah, it's a well-made box. There's no question about that.
But it ain't a $450 box. I thought it was fake to start with.
Well, then why didn't you say anything?
I didn't want to bust your bubble.
What, so you let me spend the money instead?
Now I can holler at you.
Okay, well, thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thanks, Mark.
Good to see you, Richard.
At least I know what you're going to get for Christmas now.
I figured that he would have run into these before. I would have expected Rick to know better than that. But he's got a really expensive doorstop.
Some people's children.
I'm your child.
The milkman.
How can I help you, man?
I've got this pair of antique handcuffs I'd like to sell.
You and your girlfriend got tired of them or something?
No. Coming into the pawn shop today to try to sell my antique handcuffs. I believe the handcuffs are valuable because the age of them and they seem like they're going to have a good bit of history behind them.
How did you get this thing?
I was working for a roofing crew on an old farmhouse. Came down through the roof into a small room that had been concealed over, and I got to rummaging around a little bit and pulled those up out of the floorboards.
These were actually called British plug eights because when you locked them, they look like a figure eight.
All right.
And there's a nut right down here that would attach to a key. So you put a key in there, you tighten them up, and the plug part comes because there's a plug that went in right here after you locked them. So you couldn't even mess with a nut.
Oh, wow. Pretty complex.
Actually, it's pretty simple, but highly effective.
I really like these handcuffs. When you think about them, the story is amazing. Just try to imagine who it was. Was it a British soldier or was it an American patriot? And why were they being handcuffed? The possibilities are endless. These are unique, and I would love to have them in my shop.
So what do you want to do with them? Pawn them, sell them?
I honestly think I just want to sell them, man.
How much do you want for them?
As old as I feel they are, I really feel like they should bring in several $100s.
Yeah, several $100 ain't gonna happen. Basically, what I could give you is like $100, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely not what I was expecting to hear.
I would say if they were in better condition and had the key, that price would be no problem. I'd give you $300.
All right.
But unfortunately, they don't have the key and they're in lousy shape, so.
They're kind of worth more than $100 to me personally.
Okay, well, yeah, just keep them. Maybe give them to your kids one day.
Collectors who buy these want them in much better condition, and they want them complete. And this pair is missing its key and its plug. It's just not worth as much. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. What do we have here?
We have some old handcuffs from Folsom Prison.
All right. Where'd you get them?
They were in my dad's workshop. And I think one of my great uncles had something to do with this.
Prison guard, or was in prison?
He was in prison. I have handcuffs from Folsom Prison I'm hoping to sell today. I've had them on display at my barbershop. I believe these handcuffs to be 70, 80 years old. I'd like to sell them for about $3,000.
This is interesting. Yeah, Folsom Prison, I guess it was made famous by Johnny Cash. He had a lot of songs about Folsom Prison. It was like the late 1870s, early 1880s, right around that when it opened up. And they just needed a modern maximum security prison, and if you were a bad guy, that's where they sent you. Back in the day, if you got sent to Folsom Prison, you were gonna be there a long, long time.
My great-great-uncle was.
They're really odd handcuffs for Folsom Prison. The workmanship is not great on them, and when Folsom Prison opened up, they would have had newer stuff than this, more modern handcuffs.
The 1870s? Really?
Believe it or not, it was pretty advanced by then, the way handcuffs were made. But then again, it might have been like, why buy something new? We already got these hanging around. So do they work?
Yeah.
They should. I'm pretty sure they would screw in like that. Yep. Okay, and then you just go unscrew them. They appear to work. How much you want for them?
$3 grand.
$3,000. Okay. They just look a little odd to me. They just don't look the time period of Folsom Prison. So do you mind if I have someone look at them?
No, no problem.
Okay. All right. I will be right back. If anyone will know about them, this guy will.
Okay.
I would have made an offer, but my hands are just tied. This gentleman has some handcuffs that say Folsom Prison on them.
Folsom Prison, obviously very well known. First maximum security prison in California. It's one of those prisons that if you were a really bad guy, that's where they sent you. I mean, when they picked up Charlie Manson, he went to Folsom Prison. It's where Suge Knight went. Plus, that's where Johnny Cash did his concerts. I mean, that was the prison. If you can get something that is actually from Folsom Prison, yeah, that would be highly collectible. The problem is, a lot of people fake those things. These cuffs, do you mind if I pick them up?
Do.
These cuffs are of a style that would date, if they were original, from the late 18th century.
Okay.
Not from the late 19th century. A couple of ways that you can tell. One, the style. The style is completely wrong. The style of cuff wasn't used. Two, prisons never mark their handcuffs. Once in a while, you'll find handcuffs that are marked by sheriff's departments or police departments, but nobody got this fancy. You see something like this, it's a souvenir piece.
You're not gonna believe this, but they've been in my family for 70 years. My great-uncle was in Folsom Prison.
On the inside or on the outside?
No, he was on the inside.
On the inside, well, I'm sorry. It may have been something he picked up almost as a joke or something. So they're a cool piece, but they're not a type that would have ever been used there.
I'm really surprised. Really, really surprised.
Okay. Well, thanks, man. I
Not a
appreciate it.
problem. Thanks for letting me see them.
You bet. You take care. Thank you.
They're modern reproductions, and a modern reproduction doesn't mean it was made yesterday. It could be made 50 years ago, but it's a reproduction.
All right.
So, unfortunately, they're not for me.
Hey, thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You bet. I don't believe what the experts say because he doesn't know everything about them. Somebody will want them one day, and I really believe that, so I'm okay with it.